First batch of Zeds heading your way. Get ready, tout le monde.
Did I pique your interest? Mrs. Foster, from range?
A solid start, but many Zeds remain.
Mrs. Foster presents her introductions.
Mrs. Foster doesn't miss those. It needs more salt.
Did I pique your interest? Mrs. Foster, from range? Aperitifs are served.
Perfect. Pod is open again. Let's get you restocked. They did not lay a claw on you. I'm impressed. Final choices, people. Enemies on the scope. Time's almost up. Vite! Break time's over. Get back to work. More Zeds inbound.
There's something cloaked. This one's tenacious.
Good start. Now finish the job. Allez.
Well, well, well. What do we have here? Aperitifs are served. Mrs. Foster from range. boys. Mrs. Foster presents her introductions.
Come see me. Pod safely open. Nicely done. More Zeds on the scope. Back to it, mes amis.
Cloaked Zeds nearby.
To make your acquaintance.
Mrs. Foster, what are you doing? Did I pique your interest? You're dead! Aperitifs are served.
Glad to see you made it through. Make for the pod and gear up. You know how to stay alive out there. A good instinct. Your armor's falling to pieces. Get it fixed. Time's up. Go kill some Zeds.
Mrs. Foster presents her
Introductions. Mrs. Foster doesn't miss those. Aperitifs are served.
A solid start, but many Zeds remain.
Such accuracy, Mrs. Foster. How can you do it? Did I pique your interest? Eulogize that. Mrs. Foster presents her introductions. Mrs. Foster from range. Did I pique your interest? Such accuracy, Mrs. Foster. How can you do it? Please.
to make your acquaintance.
Perfect. Pod is open again. Let's get you restocked. You're a real survivor. Good for you.
I'm rather partial to this M14.
More Zeds on the scope. Back to it, mes amis.
Aperitifs are served. An M14 becomes you, Mrs. Foster.
Good start. Now finish the job. Allez.
These Zeds are cloaked. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Zed, meet my M14. M14, meet Zed. Mummy loves money.
So sad.
An M14 becomes you, Mrs. Foster. Cloaked Zeds nearby. Zed, meet my M14. M14, meet Zed. Mrs. Foster presents her introductions. These Zeds are cloaked. An M14 becomes you, Mrs. Foster. Aperitifs are served.
That was the last one. Get to the indicated pod for resupply. You got out unscathed. Très bien. Pod's closed. Go make a difference.
Pleased to make your acquaintance.
You've dented their numbers, but there are plenty left.
Did I pique your interest? Take notes, boys. Mrs. Foster presents her...
Introductions.
Oh, get in! It's back. Aperitifs are served. Oh, Mrs. Foster, what a mess. Who wants to get rich today? Did I pique your interest? Ah!
Excellent. That's nearly all of them.
Pleased to make your acquaintance. I'll be honest, that's fun. Aperitifs are served. That's a siren!
Glad to see you made it through. Make for the pod and gear up. You're staying in one piece. That's great. Keep it up. Have you checked your ammo? Didn't think so. Alors, you need ammo. That's a hint.
Physician, heal thyself.
All Zeds on the scope. Back to it, mes amis.
Aperitifs are served. I'll be honest, that's fun. Mrs. Foster presents her introductions. Mrs. Foster doesn't miss those. Aperitifs are served. Bye. This one's tenacious. Bye, bye, bye. One.
Do it.
You've nearly cleared this batch out. Nice work. We can reopen the trader pod soon.
Woo! Right there, siren. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
That was the last one. Get to the indicated pod for resupply. I'm impressed by your survival instinct out there.
Mrs. Foster presents her introductions. Cloaked Zeds nearby. This one's tenacious. You're dead! These Zeds are cloaked. Did I pique your interest? Mrs. Foster presents her introductions. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Mrs. Foster from range. This one's tenacious. Mrs. Foster doesn't miss those. What? Mrs. Foster presents her introductions. What a mess. Yeah, I'm in the zone, people. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Come see me. The pod's safely open. Nicely done. That's Scrake. Boof. You took it down hard. Pod's closed. Go make a difference.
Aperitifs are served. Mrs. Foster from range.
A decent beginning. Let's call that your warm-up.
Something cloaked. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Excuse you. Mrs. Foster presents her introductions. I'll be honest, that's fun. Uh-oh, siren! Aperitifs are served. Good night, farewell. Bye, bye, bye! Mrs. Foster.
Keep it up. When you're done, I can reopen the trader pod.
Pleased to make your acquaintance. Ha-ha! This one's tenacious.
That was the last one. Get to the indicated pod for resupply. Bonjour. Come and get your tools of trade. Time's up. Go kill some Zeds.
Breaking news, Mrs. Foster is a serial poisoner. This one's tenacious. Such accuracy, Mrs. Foster. How can you do it? Mrs. Foster presents her introductions. Oh, Mrs. Foster, what a mess. Did I pique your interest? Pleased to make your acquaintance. Aperitifs are served. That's a flash found. Oh, Mrs. Foster, what a mess.
Make these last purchases count.
Toxic.
Taking down a Scrake comes naturally to you, no? More Zeds on the scope. Back to it, mes amis.
I shall exterminate you. It will be a simple test for my suit. Fine.
Am I getting warmer, Zeddy?
I can't kill what I can't see.
Did I pique your interest?
Am I meant to be time for a new experiment? Let's try gas! Fools! That was the easy
I don't see
part!
you, Zed, but
See what I have for you
I
next,
smell you.
piggies!
This is for stir-fry.
I grow tired of this game.
Oh,
Time
you
to try
missed
the
me.
next phase on you, scum!
Mrs. Foster presents her introductions.